Hey guys, welcome to the clubhouse. I'm Billy Jackson, and today's review is gonna be on Godzilla x Kong. Okay, now, I'm loving this monsterverse that they have created, starting with the first Godzilla movie in 2014, and then they rolled out with Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of the Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong. All these movies I think are exceptionally well done. Now, the human element I could do without in all of those movies. Actually, the Toho Godzilla -1 I thought is the best Godzilla movie ever made, honestly. One of the better movies ever made. Well, I actually cared about the human element. And now we come back to the Americanized monsterverse of Godzilla and Kong in Godzilla x Kong. So when I saw the trailers and I saw this pink Godzilla coming in and Kong riding on his back and stuff like that, I thought this movie was just going to be ridiculous and not any good. But I was really hoping that it was. And was it? Yes! This movie was incredible. Now, it's not a masterpiece like The Godfather or anything like that. It's not the best well-written story, but it has been the most fun I've had in the theater since I can't remember when. I found myself smiling ear to ear the entire movie. It didn't lull 1 minute. It wasn't boring at all. The human element was tweaked down. This movie was more about the monsters than any other MonsterVerse film that has been made. This movie was so much fun. I'm still beaming about it. When I came out of the theater, me and my buddy, we were beaming. This movie was awesome, and it was fun. Now, that being said, this movie is totally ridiculous as far as like logic and, plot holes go. It's riddled with a little bit of plot holes, but the ridiculousness was just ridiculous. But it was great, though. This is, if I would have cared in any other movie about certain things happening that happened in this movie, I would have cared in any other movie. I did not care because everything else that they gave me was pure gold. This was a Godzilla and Kong movie, and you got Godzilla and Kong the entire movie. Yes, the human element was there, but it was very little significance to what was going on. Yes, they progressed the plot a little bit, as far as like exposition, and you have to have humans speaking so you know what's going on, because all you got with Godzilla and Kong and their villains, Scar King and Shimo, all you got is a bunch of roaring at each other. But the facial expressions really gives a lot away, and I thought they did an excellent job on this movie. This is the type of movie that makes me love what I do, because the theater experience for me is, I just love it. I love going to the movies. That's why I started doing reviews. And this movie right here is a perfect example of a popcorn film. You absolutely have to turn your brain off when you go into this movie. Have very low expectations for any kind of logic or anything, happening for it to make sense. This movie truly embraced the magic of the old Godzilla films, and it kind of went from, the serious tone of the first Godzilla movie in 2014 to what we have now. I compare it to the original Godzilla movie that was in 1952, that was very serious and important to society at the time, to how fantastical it got, later on in the years. And that's okay. I enjoyed it. That's what's important, is having a good time, making the movie worth your money to go out there and spend, and to sit in the seats for a couple of hours and get pure entertainment. And I was entertained from beginning to end. I didn't care about the pink Godzilla, which I didn't like in the trailers, but how they explained he got that power, I thought was awesome how he did it. But it just made sense to me. And the fight scenes in this movie, and there are fight scenes throughout this entire movie, and every one of them had my jaw open, my eyes wide, and me sitting up in my chair because it was spectacular. This was like watching a MMA fight go on for a couple of hours. It was great. And just the fact that they tweaked down the human element and gave us more monsters and more fighting and more, about the monster verse in general is what made it so pleasing. So I'm telling you right now, guys, go out to the theater and see this movie, especially if you're a Godzilla, especially if you're a King Kong fan. Go see it because you're going to have a lot of fun. But please remember to suspend your disbelief because this is really more of a fantasy movie more than it is anything. But it's a fun monster jam, and I loved it. One of the best creature features I've seen in a long, long time. So I give it 10 out of 10 on this one, Chef's Kiss. But anyway, it's not all about what I think. What do you think? Have you seen Godzilla X Kong? Do you plan on watching it? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like my videos and subscribe to my channel. And as always, make yourself happy every day. And the only way to do that is to remember the only thing stopping you is you stopping. Bam!